back online. Bit of
They
technical
lost
issues,
because
but unsurprisingly, the Dire managed to take it in the end after a couple beautiful team fights from them.
chat only.
Here you go, I think. Any
Nice.
thoughts on this game? What do you think the Radiant should be doing different in the next game?
I don't know. It just felt like Dire outplayed them. It felt like KCL Lions just had them basically at every point of the game. The Legion ran away with it for a bit. The Mag had some great plays, but it just felt like they were always on the back foot. Like you've got to take the fight to them. If you're Staffordshire Sentinels right now, and if you're in the post-game analysis, you know what you're saying to your team? You're saying, let's get them on the ropes. Let's show them who's boss. I don't want to see any backseating here. You got to take an active approach. You got to be dealing with these tempo heroes, with this anti-mage. You got to be showing him who's boss. You got to be showing the Pugna who's boss, not letting him have their space.
I think they definitely had
scoop.
the opportunities, like you say, in a few beautiful fights. But honestly, between the Elder Titan and the Pugna, they were really struggling in the fights. You know, whoever they go on, they get decrepified.
The new lobby is up.
If in these big team fights, these stomps.
If you want to
join lobby,
broadcast channel.
Putting in work. Oh yeah, sorry, I should do that.
What are you saying for an MVP then?
Elder Titan, 100%
Elder Titan. Yeah.
Those,
the Pugna is a
initiations.
close second. I think the Decrepifiers in the tower really put in work, but the Elder Titan was clutching out these fights where Radiant actually. I think if those go the different way, you know, Radiant could have won that game. It could have gone the other way around.
I see a couple of the fights they won as well on the Dire was because they picked off that Elder Titan early on, right?
Yeah. I'm trying to think back to the draft.
What changes do you think that the two teams are going to make? I think KCL honestly is going to stick with the picks that they the sort of playstyle that they had. What do you think that the staff's going to do?
I think it's start with the draft. I mean, this early Rubik Ogre really not a comfortable start. KCL really led the way with the draft with the Shadow Fiend Tiny, I believe, opening.
Although the lane didn't end up going quite as well as I think they probably wanted for KCL. I think they wanted to pressure I think, a little bit more, but in the end they came out of it quite well.
I said that lane went fine, but I think it just comes down to you know, they can go with it wherever they want with this draft, and Staffordshire felt very forced into playing around this, trying to play around the Empower with the Juggernaut and the Legion Commander, trying to play for these team fights, and KCL just go, well, we have Elder Titan, we have Pugna,
and just great counters. Despite their lack of initiation on KCL, they could just wait for staffs to come to them and then counter initiate.
Yeah, definitely.
And you saw it as well. Every time staffs tried to go forward and make their own play instead of just waiting on their high ground, they just got counter ganked. ET puts in a nice little stomp, throws them away, and then in the end, they just get beaten back, lose a couple guys, lose more buildings to that Pugna. And the anti-mage.
You see, it really does snowball out of control with this. The Pugna wrecking the buildings, this anti-mage, you know, taking over the map. That lead really snowballed.
Quickly, Ethan.
Say again, sorry.
Show us net worth.
Player or team?
What? Player. And 10-minute mark. I want to see what's happening over there.
10 minutes. We'll do.
See, you say the anti-mage wasn't doing so well. Look at that net worth disparity right there.
He really caught up. He had something rough start for the lane in the health wise, but the CS.
Once he got his ring of health, he was fine. Like this Magnus Rubik doesn't really have the damage to force him back when he has his ring of health, and then so that he can kind of play aggressive as well. I think that
especially with the Elder Titan.
He died.
Those levels in the Astral Spirit really coming into effect.
I'm hoping they ban. They need to ban the Elder Titan. I honestly don't see them playing around a strong Elder Titan player.
I don't think I want to see this Juggernaut again either. I honestly think Juggernaut just isn't good right now. You could see him kind of working out in the draft, in the game a little bit in a couple of those fights, but
I think the Rubik really didn't see the impact it wanted to as well. Like we see KCL like very comfortable to pick these heroes that that they may have okay spells, but it's not what you're looking for on Rubik sometimes.
Yeah. Despite what I said about KCL's draft, it's a bit weird, but you can definitely see how all the pieces fit together. There's a lot of reason went into like why they picked this Pugna, why they picked this ET.
It was definitely something that it's definitely their style of play. I think maybe we didn't really consider it, and this letting Staffordshire come to them and counter initiating and taking these fights like that, it worked. I mean, I may have not seen it, you may not have seen it, but
they knew what you can't dispute the results.
Yeah.
The proof is in the pudding, gentlemen.
Exactly.
You definitely saw them struggle a bit once those initial blinks started coming out and this Kur out of position into the duel. Like it was a bit tough.
You see a weakness in the draft, right, between the laning and say the 20-minute mark, where their items weren't the best for the fighting compared to Staffordshire with their early blink daggers. Feeling really strong in the fights, whereas KCL, these early items, they're more just preparing for later on. This Battle Fury, this mechanism, the Greaves.
Yeah, once the Greaves and the blink for Tiny came online, the fighting was a lot stronger. And Pugna just getting those items to keep himself safe, and then the Octarine comes out, and suddenly it's just so hard to get on top of him. The Linken's Octarine is very
you see
tanky.
the really early Linken's, 22 minutes. Really good timing.
Definitely a good
came in
focus.
just as they were pushing that bot tier 2. It was really good. It was perfect actually because it came on Korea and then it secured that tier 2. I don't know if they saw it at that point. I'd imagine not because it was sort of a 10-minute.
I don't think so. I definitely remember seeing after the Linken's got picked up, they definitely went for a blink duel and it didn't work.
Yeah. It was the blink lift from Rubik, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The reveal.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure about this blink dagger first on the Rubik. I really don't like it. I think into heroes where their spells are really enabled by blink dagger, like the RP from Magnus, like the black hole from Enigma, then I can see the blink dagger coming in useful. But I didn't see its value that game. It felt really selfish. That's like 2,000 gold on your support that just helps him initiate a tiny bit better, but I think you get the same value from an Aether Lens. I think you get the same value from a Force Staff, and I think they're much better in other ways.
And you saw him get just hounded by the anti-mage as well, since he had no counter items.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
Into game 2,
maybe even the Glimmer Cape you look for.
The ET bat comes out. Yep, that's
the instant respect.
Definitely respect that here, and understandable as well after that previous game.
Yeah, who really put in work. The chats.
Yeah. I want to see I want to see any BM.
Still for the Tinker ban.
It's 100% a scouting ban. 100%. There's going to be an Ember ban here. I'm calling it. If they first banned Ember, there's going to second ban Ember.
So there goes the Tinker again.
I think it was Staffordshire that banned
they did go to the Tiny as well. So they didn't like how it was in that draft. That first big Tiny, they just couldn't get anything out of it, and he ended up being such a pest. They don't want to see that again. So they're getting that out, taking out that Elder Titan as well.
Both of the support duo are going to have to change for Staffordshire.
Yeah. Well, what were their first bans again in the previous game?
We had.
I can't remember. There was a Tinker. There was an Ember.
Tinker, Ember, Tusk.
Bat Rider was one of them.
Yeah, so Tusk and Ember. Tusk and Ember were the bans for Sentinels, right? Because it's KCL. They're happy with their strategy. They just take out this Tinker, Bat Rider again. They don't want to see that shit.
Yep.
But Sentinels now completely different ban. But the Tusk, probably not the easiest to pick early on, right?
I think his
well.
strength. You can flex him, but it's nothing like the Tiny. I think in terms of its impact, from the 4 position at least. I think he may be more valuable from the mid, but I think you can counter that much better.
Yeah.
Could we see a Monkey King?
Oh.
Flex Monkey King. Does the same thing as Tiny in a lot of situations.
I think I would prefer to see a Tusk in that case. I think he's a lot more consistent.
Oh.
Ooh, and a Baden!
I
Okay.
like it.
Freshly buffed with that
So-
the base attack time reduction.
So completely...
Could be carry.
Yeah. We've seen a couple carry the Badens coming out with the cheaper Radiance, like gives you that farm online, and then
Yeah,
the base attack time. You
definitely.
can really quickly get up the silence on enemies and just start beating into them. So this is
I
a
can't
lot
say
more...
I've watched too much myself, so we'll have to see how it plays out for Staffordshire. But
So, there
they
is
definitely
the
had
Tusk,
some good
alright,
team
so
fights between the rest of them.
They do want that, and the SF again.
Tusk SF,
So,
yes.
Tusk SF pretty much plays the same in the off lane as a Tiny SF would, right? Just
Yeah. The lane plays the same.
I think
So-
it's easier.
We'll have
for
to
the
see,
Tusk SF,
if
to be
they
honest.
do keep these lanes the same. But obviously, there's still that flexibility where they can run the Tusk mid, they can run the SF from mid or pos one as well. Like,
yeah. So
there's
this,
options for KCL.
This opening from KCL in the end, more or less the same. Not really anything too different about it.
Yeah.
I like that. They found something good. They want
it
to stick
worked
with
out
it.
well.
So
Yeah.
Sentinels really looking to shake things up. Go with a Nyx Assassin. That is interesting.
Very interesting. I
Could
can't say
that
I've
be
seen
their
much
mid?
Nyx.
So Nyx,
Could that be their mid?
Nyx mid.
I mean,
it kind of makes sense against the SF, right? Like he has a lot of
It
AoE
does.
spells, so
I suppose you can quite easily read the Requiem as well to counter
does
it,
quite
but
well
you
against
don't get the
Tusk.
value from the damage.
yeah. On the other
Because
hand,
Requiem
though,
works in separate instances.
Tusk actually counters Nyx Assassin, I think.
oh, does he?
Yeah,
fair.
with a Snowball.
Snowball stuns without.
Oh
receiving
yeah, of
the stun
course,
himself.
of course.
Yeah, so the Nyx can basically never use his carapace against the Tusk. In the lane matchup, Tusk will win the 1v1 because Nyx just doesn't have enough attack damage. So
Yeah.
I wonder if
Nyx
they're just
can't really
looking
be
to
the same fight,
reverse
but-
their position, right? They had this Rubik in the last game. You know, he opted for that blink, maybe looking for those like blink initiations, but it's the wrong hero. Maybe they're looking this game. You know, they want their 4 to hunt. They want him to look for the ganks to set up for these other heroes.
and the Pugna goes out as well. I'm not sure if I like that much. They're basically just banning the entirety of
They are
KCL's previous
banning the
draft.
entirety of the last draft.
I think the
the
Nyx-
SF got snatched up beforehand.
I think the Nyx already more or less addresses the Pugna. I think they could have let that through.
Yes,
I
I
like
agree.
the.
Definitely agree.
It's definitely a play to ban just ban their last draft. I hope they go for the last. What was
who's
that?
Well, the last one was the SF, which is already
Oh
been picked up.
yeah. Oh no.
Um,
Countered.
They've got to go for a
Countered.
fresh new ban.
Should have banned,
They
should have
have
banned
to
the
use their
ET.
brains.
Should have banned the ET later. You know.
Yeah, like
Should have banned it in
let
the
them
order it
pick
was
that
picked.
one up.
Naga
Naga.
Siren ban.
Okay.
I mean, I can see it. Naga's a annoying hero.
I mean,
I
for
hate
a
Naga
carry of
myself.
Baden, it would be hard to deal with Naga as well, right?
It's hard to deal with, and I mean, I say you know they play the anti-mage. You know they probably play these other very
Cheesier
ratty
heroes,
heroes. Just split pushing, just being an overall nuisance. I think there's something that Staffordshire they want to forget about. They just want a clean game where they just have some fights. No annoyingness there.
The Zeus gets banned out here.
Same bands from KCL, I think.
You're,
Oh, yeah,
they're
I
banning the
think
mid
all
hero.
3 of these were the same.
They just don't like those
Mhm.
heroes. They don't want to let them through. Sentinels. Yeah, I don't know if this is,
I think they
those are
protect the
staple heroes for
SF
them,
as well.
but either way, they don't feel confident
It's-
enough to pick them if they are. So
Having done a lot of NSE drafting, it is literally just one player banning, and I feel like they really don't want that mid hero to do anything.
yeah.
The
Yeah.
mid player
I think these
they-
bans
Winter
they
Wyvern
definitely
comes
target
out
towards
here.
the mid, but I think they also protect the SF. You know, they can run it mid, and he won't have to deal with the Tinker, the Bat, the Puck, or the Zeus. And if they run it in the off lane, you know, he's not having to deal with the Drought either, which I mean, that seems like an okay lane to me.
So
Yeah,
interesting pick here,
true.
the Winter Wyvern coming out. Kind of similar to the Pugna, right? Like the
Yes,
Decrab blocks
yes.
out that physical damage, but unlike the Pugna, it doesn't have as much forward pressure. Now, it still has that counter initiation, so it's a little bit like mixing that ET pick and that Pugna pick into one. Curious to
Yes,
see
definitely.
where it's going to be going, because it could be a mid Wyvern. It's been picked up a bit, but
Yes.
playing the int mid into a Nyx is a little bit scary. If they play it as a support,
If you play the Wyvern as a support, do you run it 5 or 4, or is it just for one of those?
most likely it would be 5, right? I don't think you would want to see your Tusk. I think they want that Tusk Shadowfiend lane again.
Okay.
No, not again.
The Axe, very interesting pickup.
I'm not seeing this Axe pick. I'm not seeing it.
Unless Staffordshire are seeing something that I'm not, I'm not liking this draft anywhere near as much as the last one.
Okay, I'll give you some theory, guys. I'll give you some theory. Maybe they're seeing Radiant's draft and they're like, well, they're going to have to pick a melee pos 1. You know? They're not going to be able to pick anything, like, crazy.
But
like, the only thing
Lina
they
is
can
still
pick
in,
here
but
is
Nyx
like a...
counters it a bit, I suppose.
Lina,
I suppose that's
you
it.
could pick
They've got
Lynx,
the Nyx for the
you could
range
pick...
heroes.
And that's about it, isn't it?
Definitely.
I don't know.
Still.
Picking Axe into Wyvern feels bad regardless. To Wyvern Tusk, like
Wyvern Tusk, I think it's not particularly a comfortable Axe game.
Spectre comes out.
And the Spectre.
Okay, you can see that. Just
so
like,
this Abaddon. Is this a 5 Abaddon, or
it must
do
be
they run
5
it
Abaddon.
mids?
It must be 5
I
Abaddon.
don't think you run it mid, do you?
Yeah, it must be.
I'm not sure about this lane, to be honest.
Yeah,
I suppose the
Spectre
Spectre's good against the Tusk because you can get over the shards, but I think the SF will just stack razors.
Yeah. Although, does the raise debuff get purged by a Baron shield?
I believe so. I
Okay.
can
That
check,
makes
but
okay,
I believe
I
it
think.
does.
Then Spectre should be able to tank through Shadowfiend in Fury.
Yes, Shadow
in
Raise
pure
is
engagements.
dispellable.
The problem, I think, is that just in casual laning, I think Spectre is just going to be outdone by Shadowfiend.
Yes,
She
I
doesn't
think.
have the attack damage, she's gonna get denied, she's gonna get raised down, and then Tusk can just come in once in a while and pick up that kill. I think it's hard.
I think it would be okay. I think if you get Tranks on Abaddon, if you do that whole Tranks heal.
Oh,
Spectre,
if you play for the Mist Coil.
I think
could definitely.
you can get
I think
one pointed
shield.
shield. You do the Tranks build on Abaddon. It's actually okay for Spectre.
And then Spectre
but then again, that's
probably
going to
goes,
leave you kind of useless.
And Spectre goes the mangoes into the mangoes with. Oh, okay. Here comes the Lifestealer.
Lifestealer for case.
That's a good pick.
I definitely see that.
That's
like
a good
it.
pick.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't have anything for a Lifestealer, right? They have a call,
No,
but that's
no.
it.
And that's it with this the Wyvern as well. You know, they've got the save. You know, if there does get to a point where Staffordshire has threat and they go for these blink calls and the Nyx and trying to lock down his lifesteal, he's just gonna get healed. And I don't think they have the damage with the Spectre to get through him.
And Nyx and Abaddon, neither of them really do anything to Lifestealer. You can just run free in the early game. And once Spectre comes online, they'll be able to burst for a Lifestealer for sure. But
I mean,
that he's gonna have to come online somehow.
I'm looking at this draft as well for Staffordshire, and I see 4 melee heroes against this Winter Wyvern Shadowfiend Lifestealer. You know, these heroes that just love to kite you, to stick on top of you. They don't care.
I'm really liking KCL's draft here. In the previous one, I couldn't quite see how the synergies were working out, but this one is very clear.
Yes, definitely.
I think this is a very solid draft coming out from KCL so far. Well, this time Staffs is feeling a bit more disjointed in their picks.
Yeah, I'm gonna need something good from the mid to see how this all fits together, because I think these supports, I don't think they do particularly much, and I think these cores are quite greedy and don't really link up well. Unless maybe this Nyx and Axe have a really good laning phase, I think they don't have enough proactivity right now.
No, they're gonna need something that like builds off the Spectre Haunt. They can haunt, get that vision, and just do something big in those team fights. Lesh ban coming out, I don't like that very much either. They have a Nyx Assassin. I don't think they should be too scared of a Lesh. I think
I agree.
I think they have done a couple of kind of redundant bans here.
Yes.
For Staffs.
It's definitely just I think there's some emotional bans, especially with these banning out the last draft. I think it's a lot of stuff where they're just banning things that they really don't feel like playing against, rather than maybe what the draft needs.
again, they're all mid-focus bans.
Interesting
They're
ban.
mid versus mid-focus bans, I think, a lot of them. I think the game is... Well, I think both teams have decided that the game's going to come down to what the 1v1 matchup mid's going to be.
I think
I'm excited to see.
it does, but I think it's very much favoured for, you know, I think Staffordshire need to have a really strong mid with a really good matchup, and I think
it's hard
KCL
for them
just
to
needs
pick
to.
this.
Yeah,
Yes,
I think
they
KCL
don't have
all they
last
need
pick.
is to have a decent matchup. I mean,
And-
even then, I think if they lose the matchup, I think it's still fine for KCL just from the rest of the draft.
Yeah,
Staff
I
has
don't
to-
see...
They have to keep in mind as well, the Shadow Fiend could still go mid. It doesn't have to be a free SF game. So, if
And-
they
and
pick
the
something
Tusk
that
as
has
well.
a bad matchup into Shadow Fiend, they could just flex it there and then pick a free instead, and it could be very difficult. So there's a very
They've
hard
got
pick
the
for
Tusk
Staffs.
mid as well, and the Wyvern mid. I mean,
What are we going to
there's
see
so
from
much.
Staffs? What are we going to see? Another Legion?
Quap.
Quap.
Queen of Pain.
Yeah, I think that's alright.
I like it.
Yeah,
I like it a
like
lot,
it.
actually. I really like that.
It connects well with like both the Nyx and that Spectre Haunt. Like the Spectre Haunt can haunt,
Yeah.
give vision, and Quap knows exactly where to blink in to find out Winter Wyvern. Like, stop this kind
I
of
think this
initiation.
game for Staffordshire, I think this Quap needs to have a good game. I think they need to play with her timings, and I think once this Quap starts to fall behind, they are really going to struggle.
Yeah.
Well,
We'll see what
if
KCL do.
if this Quap
for
does
lane.
well, it really does bring together a draft. I think it is what they were missing.
Yeah, I agree.
It does, but I don't deny that. I think even if this Quap does well and Staffordshire play around it right,
Oh, okay.
KCL,
okay.
yeah,
okay.
there we go.
Yeah.
So
Well,
are we all leaning KCL here in that case?
yeah, we're leading.
I
KCL.
think it's all for KCL.
It-
I mean, there's
it's-
opportunity for Staffordshire with this Queen of Pain. Like there is potential for that avenue of victory.
If they get
Having
a
Queen
couple
of Pain
these,
be the win condition, but
if they get a couple of these like really clean pick off kind of fights that they did in that previous game, if they get a couple of those
Yeah.
going on in the early game again, get some recovery for the Quap and the Spectre, because they're most likely going to need it in these matchups.
yeah,
They might be able to pull something out, but KCL has a lot more straightforward of a draft. I think it's going to be a lot easier to pull off.
yeah. I think KCL they just need to just buy their items and
If the
I think-
early
I think
rotations from Quap
they're
are on
gonna
point, I
exist.
think there's going to be a lot. The staff stand a much better chance. But honestly, the Viper, like, I'm surprised they didn't ban it. The Spectre counter, the Axe counter,
Yeah.
like, it's such a good pick. Even though it will just
Yeah, and
like it's a Viper mid matchup. Like he's gonna almost certainly win the mid
yeah,
matchup.
Quap versus Viper is very painful.
Yeah.
You can
I'm
definitely pull
surprised they
something out
let
there,
that get
but
past.
it's definitely favored for Viper, and he might try to go like that Meteor Hammer again and just like pressure the tower while the Quap is off, like going to gank and trying to get these rotations up.
yeah.
You know what's
I think we'll have to see if this this Axe can have impact, because I think if Axe and Nyx have a tough time in lane, and they don't get this early Vendetta online for ganks and this early Axe blink the blade mail, I think they're really going to struggle to kill people. I mean the cores on KCL are just so tanky.
Yeah, I think we are probably all. I think there's no way of really saying that staffs have the drafting advantage. I'm hoping. I do like their picks though. I won't lie. I can't. I think they've got much zestier picks than KCL. You know.
You see this this crown coming out for the Viper does opt to queue up the bottle though. It's not the
okay, but
it's not the Meteor Hammer rush of the Pugna game.
I kind of would like a Meteor Hammer rush, to be honest, to the Viper. I think it would be good. I
It's
think
probably
he can
moving
just
into Atos, right?
no, he's not going. I think he's going Meteor Hammer again, honestly.
Okay.
He could be going Atos. You're
Meteor
right. It
Hammer
would-
coming out
Nyx
on
queuing up
Nyx.
the Meteor Hammer, but
that makes sense, just like that stun
Hmm.
connection.
It's just the Nyx build. Yep.
Yeah. In the meantime, it looks like
Lifestealer looking for
both of
phase
the,
orb corrosion armlets.
both of the Radiant supports actually going for this Boots Tangos build, and SF is blocking mid.
Ooh, we see this lane
That's
swap as well from Radiant.
Yeah,
this
so they're
this
putting the
Lifestealer
Lifestealer
going up
up
to
top.
lane the top.
And putting... I kind of like that, actually. I kind of like that. Spectre is very... how should I say it? She doesn't pressure a lot, right? So Lifestealer, who with the Feast, can just continue healing up. He'll have a fine matchup against that, right? While Axe can actually pressure Lifestealer, since he just has so much health. And Lifestealer clicks a lot, and Axe will spin a lot because of that. But with the SF instead, they can just magic down the Axe. And Lifestealer can just sit up there and like... It goes for that Feast level 1 as well, so he just wants to keep getting his health back. Queuing up the phase boots. I would kind of like to see a Helm of Iron Will first, but I hear Emoji Man just clicking into the Lifestealer, actually able to deal a lot of damage to him here. That's a nice little trade there from Abaddon. The bottom lane.
Yeah, we see this queue up for the Blade Mill.
A triple raise onto Axe, and he is forced to walk away here as well. So
he's got the two sets of tangos early on.
Yeah, and
he's going to go for that early ring of health. We'll see.
And this is two range creeps for the Radiants, so the lane's going to push out. They're going to be able to get that farm.
Yeah.
In the meantime, Quap falling behind in the last hits here, really getting pressured by this Viper. You can see it.
Oh yes.
With that block, keeping the creeps on the high ground, just and pressuring away the club, and she just can't get forward to get these last hits. And this is
so really many denies for this Viper in these first like waves.
And this is what's hard for Quap in these matchups. Oh, but in the meantime, in the bottom lane, they go in with that Snowball Ice Shard, set up the triple raise, and honestly,
I think honestly that this it looks better than the tiny Shadow Fiend with this
the setup is a lot
shots.
easier. They can't actually get out of the raises. A bit of damage coming out here to Shadow Fiend with the Impale.
I think it works both ways as well, right? With this Ice Shard, it's such long duration. You can cast the long raise and you can walk in, or they walk to you to cast the shorter raises.
A lot easier to set up than that tiny. You don't need as much of the coordination.
No, I think with Tiny as well, he needs to avalanche and run in for the toss back. Whereas with this Tusk, I mean, he can cast Snowball from as far away as he likes.
Yeah, and point in Mana Burn coming out now for the next Assassin. They buff. Did they buff that? Before that?
Not this last patch, no.
Okay, I just remember but
I think it might have been buffed the patch before. The mana cost seems lower than I remember.
They're trying to keep that mana low on the Shadow Fiend here. Cancels the clarity, so they won't be able to quite get it all back. Still has 2 mangoes, so we'll be able to pop those and get his triple raise off. But for now, a prudent pick up here for the next.
Oh my
god! Oh, actually falls on the Viper first.
Gets
Nice
the kill on the Viper before she dies.
Was not expecting that.
Nice.
Yeah, gets the
Fairy
experience
Fire.
for the kill, so gets some definitely needed catch up, but.
And there we see the Meteor Hammer from Viper after the bottle. He's got it queued up.
Yeah, but still.
I think he just wants the bottle for the early lane pressure against this Queen of Pain.
Even
make sure he
kill,
wins this lane.
Still a little bit behind in the experience. Level 3 against the Viper's level 4, and absolutely behind in the top lane. Top lane. Abaddon coming into pressure on that Wyvern, but he does have the boots, no Planting Curse, so Wyvern is able to walk away, but takes a lot of damage. Takes to the courier on the way though. Oh, but Quap looking maybe to get a cheeky kill on the Wyvern. But actually just going for that rune. It's already been taken, so Wyvern is going to walk away, denied to the tower. Quap not able to get a new rune to top up that ball.
Abaddon's still credited with the kill though.
Oh.
Very interesting for this the Wyvern build. The Arctic Man into the level 2 taking the point into Cold Embrace. Completely negating the damage.
Oh, another go onto the Axe. The mana burn though burns more of that mana, so he's only able to get 2 raises off in the end. Can't get in range for the melee Shadow Raise. Sun doesn't quite connect on the Shadow Fiend, but all in all, a decent trade. Taking down more of that mana on Shadow Fiend is definitely important. Doesn't take the second point into mind. Just gonna stick to the one.
Ooh.
Tusk
the miss
don't
shots.
quite connect top lane.
I don't think it would have been a kill. They're only enough mana for one of the Razors.
Quap is going to run to base now.
Yeah.
15 denies on Viper. It's looking very painful.
Man. We've all been there at one point, chaps. We've all
Yeah,
been there
we see these last hits and denies. You know, the Radiant, all three of them up there. Only one keeping up for the Dire is the Spectre, and Axe a little behind. But yeah, the Quap down in the dumps. Not enjoying lane.
Oh, and in the meantime, SF actually falls down in the bottom lane. Find a way in on him. I think they probably went on the Nyx, but he managed to survive. Take a couple tower shots though.
Ooh,
And
dive shots.
Oh, but the call shards do finish him off, and that gets rid of the battle hunger. So Tusk will be able to walk away.
No.
The Karti actually falls here early on, so that's quite good for the Radiant. Won't be getting all that tower damage. Now SF comes in with his mana from the fountain, clears up the entire wave, and is going to end up not missing out on much for that death. So a bit of much needed gold into the Axe's pocket. Going into the Vanguard, not the Hood here, so just wants that health, and now getting a very low farm in his wave and just falls to the ice shards from the Tusk. He's now level 5.
Jesus.
That's quite scary, because that Tusk is going to be the one making the moves for the Radiant. 2k gold lead now.
We can see up top, like, as this lane starts to go on, this Lifestealer with the Orb of Corrosion is much stronger in lane against this Spectre.
And the Blades of Attack as well has a lot of attack damage, so...
Yes, it's this, the Wraithband and the Broadsword not proving to be quite enough to keep up.
Yeah, with no points in rage, doesn't need it at all against this. Snowball coming in onto the Axe, all raises have been used, but coming off cooldown and is going to be able to finish him off. Quap coming in, but not level 6 yet.
Oh, no mana for the melee raise.
And Tusk is actually level 6 already himself. So out-leveling the enemy mid laner, definitely not something you want to see, but with this rotation from the Viper down bottom, she is going to be able to get a bit of farm in the lane, get up to the level 6. You'll be fine there. Oh, Courier out of position.
Abaddon kills the Courier.
Yeah, Nyx falls down in the bottom lane again. That Tusk comes in on him, finish him off. Just this. Yeah, this Tusk SF combo is looking very scary. Oh, some pressure coming out onto the Wyvern, but Abaddon, he's getting too low. He gets hit on him with the Lifestealer. Phase Boots is now up.
They're really hitting hard.
And the Spectre is in trouble as well. Gonna be run down here. Very slow with those 3 points in Ghoul Frenzy, and looks like she's going to be falling as well. Yeah, there she goes.
Yeah, this lane it's not looking good. The Spectre can't really survive against this Lifestealer.
60 denies for the Lifestealer, 23 on the Viper. Oh, nice little pick off for Quap. Comes in, gets the Scream of Fane down.
I mean, this is all you can really do is the Quap right now is just come in, pick up cheeky little pickoffs where you can on low HP heroes. But yeah.
Telefiend is taking some pressure here from the Axe. But he had no boots on him, so SF with those arcane boots is going to just keep raising down those waves. So he'll be fine. Nyx is going to come down.
You see, without the Tusk, he has no interest in zoning
Axe. Battle Hunger here, but a quick deny from Shadowfiend will get rid of that. Runs in on the Nyx, is able to get the Carapace, but doesn't go for the stun. Knows his Axe isn't going to be able to connect, so doesn't go for anything there. In the meantime, Quap actually got a little bit low in the mid lane. But he's going to run to base again. And now this Lifestealer really running away in the farm here. Going towards that armlet. Which is going to make it extremely hard for the Radiant to kill him, for the Dire to kill him, I think. Now a rotation from Tusk onto the Nyx with the punch, takes him down. Or takes him up, I guess. But he is going to be able to
the Ice Shards
walk
used
away.
just
But now
early for
turns
nuking,
around.
I think. Big mistake.
Turns around with the Impale and is able to finish him off with the Sonic Wave. So SF falls down. This position
the
free
body
as
block.
oh. But Nyx gets nuked out. So
Tusk turning it around.
taking another kill here.
No!
He's blocking for a little bit. He's not going to be able to get a last hit. Ooh, Quap guesses in the wrong direction in the end. A nice little cliff comes out, buys him some more time,
another round of spells
coming
coming up for Tusk.
Is going to be able to get another snowball off, so he's going to deal some extra damage. Oh,
That's
Raze
a
doesn't
beef
quite
cake.
connect. No blink up here, but Shadow Fiend out of Razes, so he's going to be forced back. And now the call again with the stun, and that's going to be another kill here. So this club is able to find a couple really good rotations here. Dominating.
Getting a bit overconfident on Radiant. You know, they've got the lead in these lanes, but just maybe time to chill out a bit. Get your items going before you start fighting.
And there's
Well,
Lifestealer is still having a free game. Siege Creep comes up.
Oh,
now.
the Viper with the haste down bot.
Yeah,
Takes
there
out the axe.
goes the axe. Not even able to spin thanks to that Nether Toxin. So is going to be. Oh, and now with the Meteor Hammer on top, going to be able to kill that Siege Creep off nice and quick. So
yeah, we see he's taking the tower in mid, and now he's going to go bot.
Abaddon getting really low. Another rotation from the Quap is able to take out that Winter Wyvern, but now the TP out. It's not actually long enough to rage, but he will be able to make it out. Quap is going to be able to pick up another kill here, but a good trade. Although he did TP the base on Lifestealer, so it's going to delay his
She's getting these kills, but there's still, you know, she's so far behind in Frown from the lane. She's just trying to keep up with all these kills. It's not actually enabling her to get ahead like it would in a normal game.
Yeah. But the Dire definitely scrounging together, like a good couple picks here. Haunt comes out of the bottom lane. Tusk, a nice snowball, takes them a bit further away, and they don't have any stun. Shards buys a bit more space as well. Axe is going to run in and going to be able to get a Berserker's Call, but taking a couple raises, gonna take the last one as well, but the shield does reduce the damage. 4 heroes here from the Dire. Ooh, a very nice quick snowball here. He's gonna be able to buy some space and wait for the next, but the Carapace gonna allow him to turn around, and Radiant here might have gotten a little bit too big for their bridges again. Shadow Fiend starting to get run down, gets a little nice little raise off, but the Blade Mail is going to finish him off.
The Lifestealer's turning up though.
Oh, and again, that
Nyx
gets taken out by the Tusk, and he's going to be able to lift away. And now Viper here, Axe, he's going to be falling down.
He channels the Meteor Hammer.
But he does die to that Viper dot, so the Battle Hunger going to disappear right away. And in the meantime, Winter Wyvern gets up to her 6 in the top lane. Just chilling out. Oh, but now commit on to Viper with the Blade Mail, and he's going to fall down. Tries to go onto the Spectre, but
Radiant just they keep getting too confident and going in on their own.
And now Tusk, is he actually going to fall? The Witchblade is up. Ooh, but the mech!
Oh, the mechanism!
Oh
no! Oh, the Baron not able to come in time.
Oh, no. The Witchblade was enough.
Once again, just making all of these plays happen. Gets a very important pick here onto that big Queen of Pain, who doesn't have the Witchblade finish, so that was supposed to be her big go there.
Was the Tusk the one playing Elder Titan last game?
No. I think that was...
Tusk was the one playing Tiny last game. Winter Wyvern was the Elder Titan.
Okay.
But you see these roles that they have between the supports, you know, the Tusk to the Tiny, just pure initiation, just trying to start fights with his team.
Outside the Axe, farming this camp, Lifestealer gonna be running over. Now suddenly, Axe in a lot of trouble here. Vanguard does a lot, but it's not enough against that big armlet, and Lifestealer gonna be able to get another kill for himself. 6,500 net worth now, so getting very big. Going into that Desolator next.
Desolator on the Lifestealer. Is that the play here? I would like to see a Maelstrom, to be honest. Maybe that's just me.
Personally, I like this Desolator. I think they want to keep pushing forward here. With this Deso, they're gonna be able to push down towers a lot easier. Like this Nyx, this Abaddon, they're like Quap as well. Even Axe, like there are all these low armor heroes. I think they're going to get melted.
It's true. I was just more thinking towards
onto Axe with the Viper Strike on top, and the Meteor Hammer though comes out.
Oh, big Meteor Hammer hit, all three.
Wyvern ult setting up for the Requiem of Souls, gonna be able to do a lot of damage. Spectre comes in with the Hunt. Ooh, just barely not able to connect onto the Winter Wyvern, but now Axe gonna Viper just barely doesn't manage to DPL, and Axe finds his way onto the SF. Couple turnaround raises, but isn't able to find a kill in the end. The Dire get a lot out of that fight.
Again, you see the rating. They're very confident, but you know these items, they haven't really arrived yet. You know, they've got this net worth lead, but from the laning phase, but they keep fighting with. You know, they just have the Meteor Hammer. They've got the mechanism, but.
Yeah, and after that fight,
it's not enough.
Honestly, I would like to see the Lifestealer switch and go for the Maelstrom instead.
Yeah, I think they definitely need to extend this game a little bit later. Their timing, with all these bad fights, it's definitely been slowed a bit.
Yeah,
you know, they can't snowball over them like they were before.
But Tusk still very big though, going into the Blink Dagger next. But I mean, getting that at a pretty decent timing most likely. But the SF...
Axe's Blink almost online, but I mean, I would have originally said that I wouldn't think this had changed much, but their fighting has been very successful so far for the Dire.
With the Spectre scouting to set up for these calls, and the Nyx as well, they should be able to find a couple good goes. However, the Guardian Greaves is almost online now for Shadow.
Yeah, that's gonna be a big thing.
Yeah. Honestly, the Viper definitely starting to fall off a bit now. This Meteor Hammer, it gives him some teamfight presence, but in the end, it doesn't let him scale much. So he's not getting too much farm anymore. Already behind the quad now.
And that's it. By forcing the issue, trying to take these fights, trying to push these waves, and take these towers, you know, they've been taking fights that haven't been going their way, and this is what Viper's been playing for with this Meteor Hammer, and it's not been quite as successful as she needed it to be.
Is it just me, or does that Meteor Hammer have a very short cast time? Channel time?
Yeah, it was
buffed
in the recent patch, that's why everyone's picking it up again. And now go on to the Tusk, already used the Snowball, so taking a lot of damage here. Wyvern comes in with the ult, and is going to be able to buy the space for Tusk to get away. He'll be able to walk out with 1400 health, he's a very tanky boy. Level 10 as well.
He did finish up the Blink Dagger earlier as well, so this is a lot more safe, a lot more difficult for Dire to find pickoffs like that, because you've got the Snowball, and then you just blink out of it.
Yeah. Now Viper going into the Ags next, actually.
We're
going to be going for that nosedive.
No way.
Quap walking into his wave with their smoke nearby. Tusk ready to go in. Blinks in with the punch into the Snowball, into the raises. Quap gets
so
absolutely
fast.
Demolished. So
Eviscerated, boys.
Quap, by the way,
Eviscerated.
building into an Orchid, so not going to be getting any survivability items to let them keep.
The Witchblade and the Orchid, both you know, very offensive options.
Yeah. It will give them some potential to grab this life.
Ooh,
right?
the
Right
Roche.
now, Lifestealer is going to have a free time inside. I should actually add farm. Got enough.
Oh, with the shard from the Lifestealer. Nice.
Yeah, but I think they popped it on the link.
I think you definitely did Lifesteal from something.
Well, either way, they managed to take this Roche, and with the Desert timing as well now with the Aegis. It's going to be very scary.
And the Brigand's Blade. Ooh, what
very strong on Lifestealer. Very strong.
Very good, very good. I say all this DPS really helps versus this Spectre, this Abaddon, this Nyx, these tanky slow heroes. You need all the DPS you can get from this Lifestealer to rip them apart and move on to the next target.
Pushing in onto that tier 2 now. Glyph comes out, counter Glyph, keeps the creeps alive. They are going to be able to pressure on this. Oh, Shard picked up from Viper.
Blink
with the go in with the 2-man stun and the call on top. The Haunt coming out and the beautiful Sonic Wave over the top. Now turning onto her though, and she is going to fall in the Winter Wyvern ult. Shadow Fiend
oh,
as
the
well.
Requiem on the axe.
Requiem and yeah. They try to go for the initiation there, but in the end it's just not quite enough to get through this burst. This Guardian Greaves can't initiate.
So they're all spread out. You know, they can get a couple, but
honestly,
you know,
it
they
feels
can
like the draft
through
advantage.
one or two at a time.
Yeah,
it feels like the draft advantage.
Now with the with that Desolator Lifestealer, they're gonna be able to push it on tower. The Viper is dead, unfortunately, so they won't have that shard poison attack. They have more than enough sustain to just keep going forward with the Desolator as well. Tower just absolutely melting. With the Glyph, they are going to be able to force them back for a little bit. And now with that open wound, just able to get his health back so quickly. You see how much damage he deals, just shredding those creeps.
Yeah.
And they're
Opting
going to need a way to
bash
deal with this Lifestealer.
The Spectre still not quite at the point where she can start shredding heroes. You know, she got the Blade Mail and the Aghanim Scepter. Once the Manta's online and you have the Desolate, you know, maybe then you can start looking for individual pickoffs with the Nyx Assassin on pretty much whoever you want at that point. But until then, not really that much follow-up.
I feel like
without the Quap at least.
I would have liked to have seen her for the Manta first, instead of the Aghanims first. They need to be able to get
I
these
agree.
teamfights. Because they're looking.
The Aghanims is definitely a more very tempo item if you can get it, because it's the you know, you can look for fights with your team constantly. But I think with the way they've been playing, it's not comfortable.
In the shards, get the stun into the Meteor Hammers. He's going to be able to do a bit of damage to that Tusk, but then the Lifestealer comes in and slams it down, and the Baron coming in to help his fellow support, going to be just slowly whittled down. Or run down.
Yeah, you see this strength of this Radiant lineup.
That's a Karti, and that's a high ground push.
Yep, and the Viper is here this time with the shard.
Yeah. So
just look at the tower melt.
Absolutely disappears, and now onto the Rags. And Dire, they know they can fight this. They're still just kind of waiting. They pop the Glyph, buy a little bit of time maybe for the supports to come back. Oh, Axe jumps in with the call onto the Viper.
Whiff on the Culling Blades. Poking.
So many counter initiation spells. The Snowball comes in, pulls the Viper in, not able to finish him off, and a Haunt? Or a Shadow Step, I should say.
She still has the full Haunt available, just poking. There's still over a minute on the Aegis. They can't wait this. They can't wait this Aegis out.
They don't have any initiation. Tusk goes in with the punch and the shards, but is just going to run away in the end. And I see they're getting a little bit too low though, so he is going to fall down to that Nyx. The rage is up, however, so he is going to be able to walk away, and that's another lane of Rax down.
Nice.
10k gold lead now on 22 minutes. It's oh, Haunt comes out, trying to force something here. Oh, the Blade Mail, but the Winter Wyvern on the Winter's Curse comes out. Confident eats the Nether Toxin. Gets a little bit of play with that Shadow Step. Playing around with them, but now here comes the SF. Oh, the Meteor Hammer, buys a little bit of time actually. But in the meantime, Pop has already fallen. Spectre getting run down now. Axe gets a decent call onto the Viper, but there's just too much left for the Radiant. Snowball once again comes out, sets up another kill, and it is looking dire
feels like
for the
game
Dire.
right there, to be honest. Like, it's this is just classic outdrafting.
Yeah, this draft really came together. I mean,
yeah, a beautiful draft and beautifully played from the Radiant.
And as we're about to see the first Viper Axe ever purchased.
What's the deal with this Viper Axe? Is it just a flex buy?
Will he nosedive before the end of the game?
he's running in. He's trying to get this.
Oh, let's go!
There he goes! There he goes!
No wonder they won.
Oh, big Sonic Wave comes out, dealing a lot of damage into the Shadow.
You really see the value from that, and it's just winning them the game.
In the end, the Radiant, the Ancient Falls, and KCL
the
will
early
be taking
disconnect
this
from
best
Queen
of
of
3.
Pain. Yeah, that really sets the tone.
He hated being in this one. He really did.
Yeah.
So.
Well.
So what are we saying? What do you think of for an MVP in this game?
The game or the series?
Either way you want. Yeah.
Well, I think for this game, I mean, This game, it felt like a drafting.
Tusk probably.
Just a complete
think
outdraft. I mean, the Tusk, yeah,
the
actually.
Tusk really did. It destroyed the Tusk. Destroyed the lane. Helped out mid game. Did like you remember that one time though the Tusk was under bot tier 1, just absolutely
I
like
think you
juking the hell out of like 3 heroes and killed one of them as
Yeah.
well. Like you don't.
you see, he
that's
bought so
just-
much space.
Exactly.
Just so much done. Yeah, very very good for the early game. I think without him, you know, if he's not doing that, maybe with the way that some of the other fights were going around that time, that Staffordshire maybe could have built up a lead. Gotten some value from the Spectre, but
if the Axe managed to get online a little bit earlier, get some more pressure out,
yeah,
it could definitely be a lot easier.
But you see, the Tusk really evening out the game early, and then, as we said before, you know, this draft just comes together. They all get very strong. They start walking down lanes, and there's nothing that these Staffordshire picks can really do about it.
The Life Sealer just absolutely a juggernaut, unable to be taken down, and then the Shadow Fiend sitting behind with the Greaves, Winter Wyvern able to counter initiate, Tusk able to counter initiate, Viper able to nosedive.
Oh, of course. Honestly, MVP is whoever did the drafting on KCL's team. That was
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it was just much. It just felt like they won the game before it even started. Like, what do you do? What do you do in this game if you die? You just lose.
You do just lose.
You don't respect ban the entire enemy's draft from the game before. First of all,
I also don't like that they kept picking their supports first, their 2 supports. I don't think it's great on staffs. I mean, I think KCL had a lot
it was
more
hard to
flexible
play
drafts.
against. KCL's openings to the drafts was very impressive. These position 4s that you know, they're very initiation-y. The Tusk and the Tiny, I think it was.
Yeah.
And they just work incredibly well in lane with this Shadow Fiend early as well, and both like we've said are completely flexible. Obviously, you know, both games they were played as the position 3, position 4, but you can't guarantee that during the drafting phase.
I can always flex it in the end, so it's
And then you even see in this game as well, they just decided, hey, we'll just this Spectre, this Axe, you know, we don't want the lanes quite as we want them. We'll switch them around. They put the Life Stealer top. They bring the Shadow Fiend to the bot lane to go against the Axe. And
well played and well drafted from KCL in these 2 games. Definitely dominant, but a few moments of brilliance coming out from staffs in these team fights. But in the end, they get overpowered, and it will be a 2-0 for KCL. So well played to them. Congratulations. I believe with that, this council will be adjourning.
Council adjourned.
The casting couch will become an unused couch. Although, I say that, there is a Patroclus Tally game.
Oh.
Ooh. Are we casting more?
No, I think I think it's
a good series.
I think we'll adjourn for now.
Yeah.
And come back another day for that.
I've been called to help out with the bin.
Yeah. So, thank you for joining me today. And
very welcome. Very welcome.
Let's make sure we get another one of these.
As they say, that's the way the cookie crumbles.
Ready to leave.